Sounds like Paul.
Jim?
Thank
you. Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Somers Town Board regular meeting starting here at 7:06, Thursday, April 10th, 2025. Before we start tonight's meeting, can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You all right? Back's been hurting.
I forgot my cushion.
Huh.
I did bring it to the group.
Yeah. But yes.
Patty, welcome back.
Thank you.
Can we please start with roll call?
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Here.
Councilman Lynch.
Here.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico.
Here.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Here.
Supervisor Rob Scrivano.
Here. Before we start our public hearing, Patty, can we have publishings and postings, please?
That notice was published in the Somers Record on March 27th and posted on the town clerk's bulletin board.
Great. I'll make a motion to open up public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And this is North Edge Realty residential development for the proposed zoning map amendment to allow for the construction of 77 multifamily housing units inclusive of 15% affordable units, along with the recreation amenities located at 29, 43, and 45 New York State Route 6 and 5 County Line Road to rezone from a existing R40, R80 residence districts to multi-family residence Baldwin Place MFR BP district. Great. You want to start off, and then Dave will have you come up in a little bit after? Okay. Go right ahead.
Sure. Good evening, Tim Allen, senior partner at Bibbo Associates. The crew here tonight with me, we've got Judge Siebert, Keenan Bean, Jared Boniello, Gus Boniello, Jesse Boniello, and Jim Boniello, all the Boniello builders, then North Edge Realty. So the whole crew is here. We're before you tonight for North Edge Realty, as you said. The property is at the corner of, or catty corner of Route 6 and Mayapack Avenue. It's 15.6 acres. We are proposing 77 units of fee simple housing on the project. It'll be a fee simple project. The property is currently, as the supervisor said, R40, R80. We are before this board to look for an overlay of the MFR residential Baldwin Place overlay zone. Through the process of before this board, we also met with the planning board last night. But we've basically prepared a very extensive environmental assessment part 3, which covered everything from traffic, stormwater, economic issues, roadway configurations, basically looked at all the environmental elements of this project, and it was a very thorough view by the town's consultants. We've got a few site plan issues to iron out, but for the most part, in terms of the town consultants, I think we're in pretty good shape. So this plan is before this board for approval of the overlay district. We understand that the public hearing will be most likely left open and considered for the next meeting with the zoning or the water and sewer petitions. The property will be sewer and water to into the county district and into the Peekskill plant via the water, well, the water line being the town district and the sewer line being in the county and the town district for the sewer. So we'll open up the questions and
Have you socialized the sewer district, any, the access to the sewer with the planning board down there or the legislator?
I'm sorry, Andy.
The petition for the sewer
Yes.
access, I mean, we're going to essentially say that's a requirement part of this. But have you talked to the folks down in the county?
Yeah, we had a meeting a while back with Legislator Gashi, and it was a very favorable meeting. It is a full board and many legislators down there, but it was a very positive meeting we had with them. Probably about a year ago, right, Gus? Yeah. So, once the town has had the public hearing on the petition, then we'll
Okay, good.
officially go to the county.
Any public there?
Hmm?
Is there any public there?
Yeah, you know what? I don't think anybody here from the public wants to comment. Dave, I'm going to bring you up and just kind of go over the.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. For the record, Dave Smith, Planning Director for the Town of Somers. So just to provide a little bit of background for the public, this petition or the application was originally submitted to the Town of Somers back in, believe it or not, in October of 2023. During that time, the application was reviewed. And it was reviewed under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, that's the seeker regulations. And you circulated a notice of intent to act as lead agency, which is a requirement under seeker, and you circulated the environmental assessment form along with a number of additional documents to a series of interested and involved agencies, including your own planning board, the Westchester County Department of Planning, and the other county agencies. New York State DEC, New York City DEP, and a number of others. So you did receive some comments back particularly from the Watershed Inspector General, from New York City DEP, and from the county, who were particularly concerned about potential impacts of the proposed action, what the applicant is proposing. You asked the applicant to prepare an environmental assessment form, an expanded environmental assessment form, which includes the EAF parts and the Part 3, which is an extensive compilation of various reports, as Mr. Allen had indicated, particularly with respect to site disturbance, stormwater management, potential impacts to wetlands, traffic and transportation, and fiscal analysis. Those documents were reviewed internally by this office and by your consulting staff and by yourself. And we asked the applicant to provide some additional information to make sure that the public had a full understanding of what the proposed action is, what the potential impacts are, and what the proposed mitigation would be as part of the review. So at your March meeting, you accepted the environmental assessment form as complete and ready for public review. It's been circulated, and that's the reason for the purpose of tonight's public hearing, not only on the zone change, but as your council has suggested in the past, that the environmental review be included as part of the public hearing process so that you have an opportunity to hear from the public on this particular project. In addition, similar to other projects, we've posted the information, the plans, the reports on the town's website to make sure that it's available for the public in full transparency. We provided a link so that if the public has comments, they can provide those to the town for consideration. Again, as part of making sure that the public has full awareness of what's being proposed and they have full opportunity to present information for your consideration. So the next steps in the process, I think one of the suggestions is that you keep the public hearing open at least for one more meeting and allow for Watershed Inspector General to provide a response back. They provided a letter as part of the initial review as a courtesy and as part of a due process. You're giving them an opportunity to review the materials just like everybody else in the public, and they should be able to respond to your board with respect to the responses to their comments that they had raised initially. So once you have the comments, it's suggested also that the applicant prepare responses back so that you have again, answers to questions asked not only by the public, but by your board and by the other interested and involved agencies. And then you'll consider making an environmental determination based on all of the facts that are that would be before you at that time. And if you make a negative declaration, that means that the proposed action, that the potential impacts have been mitigated to the maximum extent practicable, or you would make a positive declaration, which means that there are still adverse impacts which haven't been mitigated, and you would require the preparation of a draft environmental impact statement. And that's another very involved process. But we haven't gotten there yet. We're still, you are, as the lead agency, still waiting to hear back from the public and then also the responses from the applicant on specific questions. So that's where we are right now in the process. Again, if there are any members of the public, the documents are available on the town's website, and they have the ability to provide comments as they see fit. So happy to answer any questions.
Great summary.
The plan that's in front of us, that's the final plan.
That's up to the applicant.
Okay.
They may, with the comments raised, they may say, you know what, we may need to make modifications to the plan to address specific comments, but I can't answer for the applicant. They have to,
Right.
that's their job to respond to comments.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else from Gus? You guys have anything else you want to bring up or say?
I think that covers it.
No, I know.
So is this the final plan? I mean, 77 units is the final plan that you're going to come in with, and that's what you're planning to build?
77 would be the maximum number. There's always the possibility. We actually gave consideration to reducing it by a few to open to fit a different model in.
And
The way we-
what factors are going to determine that and the timing on that? Only because
We were,
as a lead agency, we want to act on what the final plan is.
Yeah.
I mean, we understand that the planning board's going to go into more detail on other facts, but you know, again, and I know you're saying it's minimal. We don't want somebody to come in front of us with 80 units and then all of a sudden at the end it's 65 units.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to be looking at the actual plans.
we're actually going to hash that out with the planning board. We're at 77 right now. Our intent is to go down to 73.
That is an intent.
That is the intent, and that's where we're going to end up.
Okay.
I say that much.
Yep, that's
Didn't
what I'm asking for.
We didn't want to start changing plans at this stage, and just, a reduction is a plus for, anybody.
What's the factors that what are the dynamics of doing that?
It's-
Changing design or
It's changing design a little bit.
more open spaces, large?
It opens it up a little bit, but not significantly. I mean, this plan, what you're looking at now is what it's going to look. All it'll do is we may, lose a unit, middle unit on some of these. We're talking 4. Pick 4 buildings and take out a unit.
Are you still maintaining the same amount of 3 bedrooms and,
Yes. Yep, same ratio, nothing
Same
changed.
percentage.
yeah,
Nothing changes. It was just a tweak that we came up with. And we figured that, at the planning board level, you go down in numbers. We're not asking to go up.
Right.
We're saying, well, if anything, we'll go down, and it's a slight reduction.
Does that mean that those 3-unit buildings become 2-unit buildings?
Some of them may. We have the,
If what you're saying is true, and then 4 of them, that would happen? Just,
exactly,
okay.
That's what it's going to boil down to, exactly.
Okay, so in 4 of those that are 3-unit, it would then 2-unit.
no, I don't think you said
If
that.
4 of those that are 3-unit
Would be 2 units.
Yeah.
become 2-unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
4 unit, it'd become a 3 unit.
Question, so you're saying the same percentage, so the 4 units that you might remove would, whatever the percentage is of a 3-bedroom and a 2-bedroom?
Percentage stays the same.
Okay, so if, I don't know what the percentage is now, I don't know off the top of my head, but if it was 50-50, you'd remove two bedrooms and 2 3-bedrooms?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. The affordable stays the same 15%, nothing changes.
Okay,
It's important to note that
Mike,
Yeah, please.
the assessment that was made, and all the documents that are before this board and before the public are 77 lots. Obviously, if there's a few less units, the impact will be lessened.
Right.
So, in consideration of this board and what's before you now, 77 is the worst case scenario of what you're looking at,
Eh,
the environmental determination.
And I understand that, but if we know right now, like Gus just said, if we know that we're looking at 73, I'd want to know it now, that that's what the intent is.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I understand what you're saying, Tim, is that it's going to reduce impacts, which is fine. But again, as the lead agency and all, I know the planning board has authority that they can do. But
Sure.
again, if there's
Yeah.
intent to go lower, we might as well know now.
Didn't, it's just, we didn't want to muck up the works at this point. That's what it boils down to. But we could say right now that it's going to be 73 units. We
But-
don't want to start changing the plan because
No, I understand.
minor changes,
Mhm.
but I didn't want to,
No, and what you're,
Yeah,
it
and
makes
that,
sense. It's easy to just take one
continuous loop.
out in a 3-unit building.
You said it right. It's easier to reduce than to come for us and ask for more.
I'm just wondering, is that partly a response to earlier, your company had said, yeah, you were going to base it on what's down the street here,
Yes.
but the feedback had been a little bit too close, and you reduced it from an earlier plan, you reduced it down.
Yep.
Is that also the motivation for this, whether it's not-
Kind of, we started at 97, if you remember. So
Yes.
the number was quite a bit higher. We wanted a little nicer unit. We wanted a little more flexibility, a little more space. So by dropping it, it opened up certain areas.
Well, I'm sure
We
people
got a
like
little
that.
nicer.
I'm sure it's easier to sell.
Since day one, we told you, we're really emulating Somers Crossing.
Yeah, but you're a very nice unit.
We have no qualms about that project. It's well received. So we wanted to just make sure that we stood in that
Okay, just wondering.
line.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Just one other thing also is regarding the community benefits. I mean, last time we did this, we did some sort of a MOU or whatever. Have you guys drafted anything in that regard or?
That's on my desk,
Got it.
working on it and plan to have a draft to Roland and to the town board hopefully next week.
Oh,
Well,
Thank you very much.
May meeting.
Yeah.
And that would include those condos up at Angle Fly, which was where we
So,
started.
yeah, so
Would
the
include-
board was provided,
Okay.
remember, an outline that Bibbo prepared as to what is entailed in bringing those structures down and really bringing it back to,
The intent, if I remember, said that right down to, you wouldn't even know that they were there.
that's,
Right down the
that's,
ground, and
and that's it.
it might be nothing or maybe something,
Right.
but, okay.
And Judd, when you're preparing it, because the board has asked me and I don't know, would you put in some sort of when it's going to occur,
Yes.
timeline of
Yeah.
anything?
That's a question. Do you have an idea now, based on a 73 unit development, what the phases are going to be? Like, is
Is there a phase
or
one?
is there a phase plan? And
Yeah, are there
or you
phases?
haven't even got that far yet.
Yes, to a certain degree. Believe it or not, it doesn't lend itself to phasing too much, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
We have an access on this side over here, and you need that before you sell it, close on it.
Right.
Has to be in. And we have the access here because it's restricted in and out. So this main road basically has to be pretty much 100% done.
Done.
Right.
So it's gonna be phase one, and then we continue, the cul-de-sac ends from there.
Mhm.
So it's,
So
And that's over by the church where your right hand.
yes,
Judge, just so you're
That's
aware,
the church
church is right.
right there. Okay.
this board usually looks kindly upon community benefits being done early in the process. Okay, not at the end.
Thank you.
Just
No.
as you prepare the documents, that's
Got it.
the overall view.
I mean, we're sympathetic to your cash flow, but
Yeah, we understand that you want to get selling some units and all and
get it rolling.
sort of fund it internally. But again, we don't want it at the end.
That's fine.
Okay.
We'll find somewheres in them.
Yep, no, that's fine. I just want to make sure I didn't want Judd to go
Yeah,
into all this hard work
Yeah, right.
and
And then come back and then,
be like,
Yes,
"Judge,
we're hoping
I-
no.
Throw it back in my face.
That's all right.
Right.
Yes.
I want to make one point with regard to the solicitation of a response from the Inspector General, and that is, I'd ask if we're going to do this, that he be given a timeline so that it's received before the May meeting. As just a background, he did provide comments in January, And just so the board recalls, Bibbo did respond to those comments. And as Dave mentioned, there's really, it's not even overlap. It's like.
It is.
He and
Did this once before.
the same thing, and we've been having very productive discussion. If you see their comment letter, that's moving along. So I'm not here to pound the podium and say, close the public hearing tonight. We realize it's going to continue to May, but we don't want to be beholden to a letter that may or may not come before then. If the town can advise that they want it back.
Well, based on your experience, how long is a reasonable time for them to take?
Well, they've had
it.
a month.
And you say
Yeah.
they've gone beyond it, or?
Yeah, and a lot of times they don't respond. I believe,
We can always follow up and see where that response letter is.
by next meeting, so be it. If they don't, I respectfully request that we vote on, we close the public hearing and vote on it next month. That'll give them a total of 60 days to respond. Again, they are kind of an offshoot, so to speak, of DEP. In other words, their interest is basically in line with DEP.
Right.
We've done all the field testing, literally with DEP. We've done DEC also. We've done the field investigations with them. We got a pretty good letter from DEP, which you normally don't see. Everything is moving along nicely on that front. So,
Roland, do you know the person who you would contact, or we would contact, say, hey,
I know him, Phil Bean, or who's writing the letters? Charles Silver?
Well, Phil's signing them.
And he's the water inspector general?
yes.
I don't know that that's
no?
the position for me to do that.
I-
I think that's up to.
No, that's, look,
Okay.
the way I look at it,
All right.
they've had 30 days so far. They haven't responded. They've made comments, and they don't respond on a lot of your projects. You don't see that often. They got another 30 days. If they send something in, so be it. Don't.
Well, then I expect,
Well, I mean, do
Rod
we
knows.
have any liability? I mean,
without that, I don't know if we will take
we
that,
can't act without him, can we?
but I would expect you would prod them.
You can.
We can
Well,
act, but
we can act, but what does that mean to the project, though?
Well,
Can he act without his,
They're more of a recommending body. We're not looking for,
yeah,
they're not an approval agency, right? So
all right, then that's it, then that's,
exposure to the town.
Between all of our collective heads, I'm sure we'll get a response back for the next meeting.
Right.
And if we don't, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
But to specifically answer Mr. Clinch's, all the other interested and involved agencies provided comments.
Yes.
So the only one.
yes, we were told that,
So
right?
everybody was able to meet that timeline except for the WIG.
Right, the planner made that clear, yeah.
Like it. Guys, anything else?
that's it.
no, all good.
Good.
No.
See you next month.
I'll make the motion to adjourn to next month.
Second.
All in favor?
Bye.
So moved. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good seeing you guys.
We're on another. Couple more items.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a couple minutes. If you guys want to, down, it'll be a few seconds here. I'll make the motion to open up public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody here for public comment?
No.
If nobody is here for public comment, I'll make to close out public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Patty, department reports, please.
I have reports from the town clerk, building inspector, zoning board of appeals, plumbing, Bureau of Fire Prevention, Parks and Recreation, planning and engineering, tax receiver, and director of finance.
So much. Town of Somers update. Many of you may have seen, we've been on News 12 a lot lately. All good things. Thanks, Jer. All good things. We have a historical grant here for the Elephant Hotel. So we're excited about that. And News 12 came by and did a little piece for it. So it's been exciting here, and for everybody who worked on it. I think I said this a couple weeks ago. Everybody who worked on it, thank you so much. Without their hard work and dedication, the grant wouldn't have been possible. And so thank you so much, everybody who worked on it. Let's go on to number 2 here. Adopt order calling for a public hearing in the matter of the extension of the Somers Sewer District Number 1 in the town of Somers, Westchester County, New York, pursuant to the Article 12 of the town law prepared by North Edge Realty Corp. For May 8th, 2025. I'll make the motion to adopt the order calling for public hearing.
Second.
It has to be a roll call.
Okay, Patty, can we get a roll call, please?
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Aye.
Councilman Richard G. Clinchie.
Aye.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico.
Aye.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Yes.
Supervisor Rob Scarano.
Aye. Okay.
Same way, exactly same.
I'm gonna do that. Thanks. Go on to number 3 here. Adopt order calling for a public hearing in the matter of the extension to Somers Consolidated Water District Number 1 in the town of Somers, Westchester County, New York, pursuant to the Article 12 of the town law prepared by North Edge Realty Corp. For May 8th, 2025. Patty, can we get a roll call, please?
Second,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No, roll call.
I get a roll call?
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Aye.
Councilman Richard G. Clinchie.
Yes.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirico.
Aye.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr.
Yes.
Supervisor Rob Scarano.
Aye. So moved. All right, number 4, adopt a resolution authorizing, subject to permissive referendum, the selling of 14 Hemlock Drive.
Thank you.
Tax ID. Thank you, guys. 5.15-3-32 in the amount of $2,601.68. Current back taxes plus any legal fees incurred by the town during the closing to Eric Pye, 377 Metropolitan Ave, Brooklyn, New York, 11211. Can I get a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing?
Second.
Subject to permissive referendum.
Subject to, adopt the resolution authorizing, subject to permissive referendum. Can I get a motion to adopt the resolution?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Number 5, authorize the solicitation of bids for the professional mechanical engineer to perform a feasibility to evaluate and provide recommendations on the library HVAC system per memo dated April 3rd, 2025 from Thomas J. Tuma Jr., Building Inspector. We've been, before I make the motion, it's one of the things we've been striving to improve our buildings here. Our HVAC system in the library is pretty old and it needs some works and some updating. So we're going to go out for professional mechanic engineers to go out to bids, just to give everybody in the public a little bit of notification on that. I'll make the motion to authorize the solicitation of bids.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just remind me, is this in the library budget or our budget?
This, we're taking care of the HVAC system. That is
That's the town.
that is the town.
Our building.
Yeah,
Capital
building.
expenditure on
Yeah,
it.
good.
Correct.
Tom, just out of curiosity, for how long have we been talking about?
I was about to say that we've been working on his HVAC.
Oh, my God.
Here we go, fellas. Here we go.
Get it right.
We're getting it right.
That's what we want.
So what's taking you so long?
I don't know.
The town board.
Hey, what have you been doing for 12 years? Morano?
Now, let's go on to number 6 here. Combination of the July and August work sessions and regular meetings. I would like to propose that for the July, we combine the two for July 10th, 2025. And for the August, 8/14, 2025. Anybody else want to check your calendars?
Should work.
We don't want to do it on the first one because that it would be
Yeah.
4th of July week.
That's,
And then we also have, I believe it's the Independence Day celebration that day at Reese Park.
It is.
I don't think I'm gonna,
that's on Friday, yeah. So there's a lot of prep going on Thursday.
Well, no.
it is on Thursday.
A Thursday.
It is a Thursday.
Thursday.
That's the celebration.
Yeah. Otherwise
So the
you can't
next
get
best-
fireworks.
The next best
Oh,
day is the
okay.
10th.
10th.
We could just put it up there and just, instead of the
Yeah.
band play, they can list us.
Bring it to the people.
I'm sure they'd be thrilled. No, yeah, get the band off. We want to hear from the town board.
The backyard barbecue and board meeting.
Is there for a quick meeting?
That works.
Okay,
So it's on the 10th.
be on the 10th. And what
That's
about,
good.
and the August 14th?
Sure.
I think that's
I
fine.
think that's okay.
All right, I'll make the motion to
I don't ever go anywhere. Of course it's okay.
combine the two for the July 10th and August 14th. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
So move. And then Patty, we do have an add-on here. This is to approve adopt a road from Zurika Law. And the adoption of the road would be between Valley Pond Road and Route 139 Primrose Street. I'd like to make a motion to approve that adoption.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.
Parks and Rec, no additional business. Financial, no additional business. Highway, nothing to report. Do have some current vacancies once again on our Affordable Housing Board and our Assessment Board of Reviews. And we also have one on our Veterans Committee. If you are interested in being on one of these positions, please contact my office and we can set up a time to meet and discuss as well. We have some stuff for planning and engineering for review and comment. Manners 99 Tomahawk Street Wetland and Intercourse Protection and SMESC application. I don't have any comments on that. No comment on my end.
Nope.
Anybody else? No comment?
No.
None.
All right, I make the motion to, well, we don't have to do anything with that. Okay, consensus agenda. Anybody have any questions on the consensus agenda? If not, I'll make a motion to approve the consensus agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Calendar of events. May 1st, Town Board Work Session, and May 8th is our Town Board regular meeting. And we will be holding public hearings, correct, on those two, on the 8th? And then also on June 5th and June 12th, Town Board Work Session, Town Board regular meeting. All those meetings start at 7 o'clock. I do have some town board announcements. Statewide burn ban is still in effect, and that goes until May 14th. So please, no open burning of brush or limbs or branches is prohibited. Also, backyard fire pits and small cooking fires. So please, we're still in. We still have this going on, so please do. Hopefully, we can all do our part. Easter egg hunt sponsored by the Paramount at Somers Rehabilitation and Nursing Center. That is this Saturday, the 12th, and that is from 10 to 12. And that is again at the Paramount. Town of Somers annual egg hunt sponsored by the Somers Leos Club and the Somers Park and Recreation Department. That will be Sunday, April 13th, and that's at 9 a.m. and that's at Reese Park. Open to all residents, 10 years old and younger. Bring your own bag to collect those Easter eggs. Hopefully the weather will hold out. Not like last year where it was rained and we were kind of rained out, but the Easter Bunny did show up still. Somers Seniors Programs Casino and Shopping Trip. And that will take place on Thursday, April 24th. And the bus departs from Van Tassel House at 8 a.m. and it will return at 7 p.m. $40 per person, $25 deposit, and that is due by the 15th.
And where would they make that? Where would they sign?
They're going, they can sign up with Princess Gruera at our, at the Van Tassel House, our senior center. And you can call her at 914-232-0807.
And her name is Princess.
Her name is Princess. And then we have Somers Central School District, second annual Tusker Cafe in partnership with the Somers Central Schools and Social Emotional Wellness Advisory Committee and the town of Somers. I will be attending that event. We put on the event last year. It was a great thing. The town and the school district is working together to try to help out with our mental health crisis that we're having here, not just in the town, but also nationally. And it's a great thing. If you are interested in that, please register for the event by April 18th. And I will put that, I believe it's going to be on our website. You can see it there, but it'll also be on some social media platforms out there as well, if you'd like to attend.
Where's it going to be?
And that is going to be at the Somers Middle School cafeteria. Great event last year.
So that's the event you did along with Ray Blanch.
Yep, Ray Blanch and I, the former superintendent of schools.
That was
And
good.
this year, they're carrying on that tradition once again. It was a great evening. And then Town of Somers Tree Board Arbor Day event, tree planting Friday, April 25th, 10 a.m. at Bailey Park. I believe Bill, you're going to be attending?
It will be, yeah. We have a nice proclamation for the group.
Great. And anybody else on the town board would like to attend? I will be at a few other meetings that I cannot attend this year. Household Recycling Day at FDR State Park. I know Rich loves this event. That is Saturday, April 26th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and that's at FDR State Park. Town of Somers Suit Drive for veterans in need, and that is now through April 30th, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. right here at the Elephant Hotel. We just delivered a set of 9 boxes to them the other day, and hopefully we can fill those up again and get some suits for our veterans.
People can put the room we're in, just put the stuff right there. There's a hanger right there, and you can put stuff, and there's a box too, so it's easy. If you have things that someone could use to try to get a job, you want to look nice, so send your nice stuff.
Yeah, it's been very well received here from people in town. So
Yeah.
thank you much for the people who have donated. And for those of you out there, it still lasts until April 30th. Westchester County Mobile Shredder is coming back to Somers, and that's Tuesday, May 13th, 10 a.m. to 1, and that's at Reese Park. Hold the date, the Elephant Hotel 200th anniversary celebration. That is Saturday, May 31st, and that is 11 to 3:30. There will be some light refresh tours throughout the Elephant Hotel as well. So 200th anniversary would be a great day. And then also hold the date, Town of Somers Independence Day celebration. We did mention it before as we were checking our calendars. That is Thursday, July 3rd. And it will start kickoff at 5 p.m. And that is at Reese Park. Patty, fun facts. Last week went over real well.
On this day, 1913, the New York Highlanders played their first MLB game as the New York Yankees, losing to the Washington Senators 2-1 at Griffith Stadium. President Woodrow Wilson threw out the first ball. Okay, now I got some great ones for you. Everybody loved the Alaska one, so here you go. There are 10 human body parts that are only 3 letters long. I'm not going to list them. You guys figured them out.
Arm, leg.
A skunk's
Where'd you get that?
smell can be detected by a human a mile away. And the word I knew I was going to screw it up a minute. Lethologica describes the state of not being able to remember the word you wanted to say. Rest of our lives. Have a good one.
Thank you, Patty. Bill, anything? Any comments?
Very happy Passover and happy Easter coming up, and a safe one as well.
Rich, anything?
Yes, I do love the Household Recycling Day run by the county. One of the best things I think Westchester does. And you can look on their website. Maybe we can provide a link on our website to the county, all the things you can bring there, from paints and oils to tires to batteries, all sorts of stuff. So instead of just junking it, it's best to go there where it'll get recycled in some way. And I think electronic devices too. So if you have stuff like that. Anyway, it's a great thing the county does, costs nothing, and they really do it efficiently over in Yorktown at FDR Park. But I was at a meeting of the Energy Environment Committee on Tuesday, and we were noting that this will be the 55th year of Earth Day, which started back in 1970, the desire to appreciate the earth and protect the earth in many ways. And some of the concerns, of course, have changed over time. But we were somewhat lamenting with a little bit of guilt, at least on my part and some others, that we really don't have a town celebration for that. So we have decided that we're going to start working on next year. And so anyone who would be interested in
Nice.
something like that, either joining for that commemoration or whatever we want to call it of Earth Day, or you would like to join the committee, even better, please do. The idea of it is that one day isn't going to change anything, but if we can educate people about some of the things that we should be concerned about. For example, you're finding microplastics in Antarctica. I mean, it's all over. They're in our heads now. It's an issue going forward. Obviously, carbon, protection of water supplies, all the rising oceans. These are all things that are of concern. And as well as to be educated, you want to say, well, what can I do about that? Because you can sometimes feel powerless to face these large things. So that would be kind of the purpose of it. We had a wonderful one quite a few years ago at the high school, and it involved hundreds and hundreds of people who came by, and we had all sorts of vendors. We're going to try to see if we can do something similar to that next year. So anyway, that was what we discussed on Tuesday night.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a little bit out there, but May 2nd and 3rd is the Somers track meet, the Lions.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
And that's the 47th anniversary of that track meet. So get prepared
I
and
think
come
it's
out
the
and check.
second one largest in the state.
Second
Yep,
largest.
yes. And did you mention the Elephant Hotel 200 anniversary?
I did.
Okay,
May 31st.
May 31st, so that's a big deal.
Tom, anything?
All good?
All good on my end as well? I'll make the motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.